Howdy, Bob Brown again. My wife, Oregon, go Ducks. There you go. So, question popped up on Facebook. How do you train endurance, or what do you do to get better endurance? And I thought, you know what, that's actually a pretty good question. Brings me back to my rock climbing days when we used to try to figure out how to train endurance to climb longer routes. And you know, for anyone, endurance is kind of a two-phased thing. It's one, how long can you hold a particular object? Like, you know, if you were trying to just hold, you had a weight hanging from you, how long can you hold that weight? You want to increase the time you can hold a certain amount of weight. But then it's also, how fast can you recover in between matches, you know? So what happens when you hold a heavy weight? Well, lactic acid builds up, which is just another form of energy for you to continue doing what you're doing. So in order to increase how long you can hold any one particular weight, well, get stronger. Because let's say your max curl is 100 pounds, well, you're gonna be able to hold 50 pounds for a particular period of time. If you wanna hold 50 pounds longer, then get to be able to hold 110 pounds as your max weight, and you'll be able to hold 50 pounds longer, okay? But what if you just wanna work on your endurance without trying to work on your max weight? Well, here is where, in my opinion, you've got a force adaptation. In rock climbing, what we did is we got onto a wall, we stayed on a climb as long as we could till our forearms started to blow up. We'd come down, we'd shake it out, we'd get right back on. We would, and this is basically what everyone said on that thread. You go as long as you can. Let's say you're doing a wrist curl. I don't know if you can see this, but you know, this is just wrist curling here, holding. And you put a weight on there and you hold it for as long as you can before you fail. You wait a specific period of time and come back and do it again, and come back and do it again. You don't let the lactic acid completely get out of your body or out of your arm before you can do it again. And you're forcing your body to adapt to getting rid of lactic acid faster, in my opinion. And there's now to speed recovery, both like right when you grip up and you fight for that grip and you shake, you come back, 30 seconds later, the match starts or whatever. That is really a cardiovascular, you know, get your lungs in better shape, your heart in better shape, your ability to push fresh oxygenated blood out to your muscles. So you want to recuperate faster in between matches, or recuperate faster right in the middle of your match, you've got to have good heart and lung capacity. Row, run. I like to do my everyone thinks of cardiovascular, oh, I got to go running or I got to go biking. Well, I like to do cardiovascular with the same muscle groups I'm arm wrestling with. I'd rather row, you know, and at least get those muscles, those veins, those whatever they're called, that arteries that transmits blood. I want to get those more efficient for the arms than our legs. Just another thought. Of course, like I said, if you increase your strength, you're going to increase your ability to hold a lighter weight at different times. Now, two factors when training. In my opinion, people will mentally quit increasing their endurance before they'll physically quit. So I always keep a measurement, and I'll show you a couple exercises. I always keep a measurement of time or reps. How long can I hold a particular movement? And I'll show you a couple before I completely fail. And then you write down that time. And then I'll take a specific amount of rest. And for me, I take a minute. In preparation for Arm Wars, where you got to pull 6 rounds with a 1 minute rest, I started to do a max effort. How long could I hold my bob corner, which I'll show you again. How long could I hold my bob corner before I completely failed? I waited 1 minute, I did it again. I waited 1 minute, I did it again. I did it 6 rounds because I wanted to train for having only a 1 minute rest in between all these things. And then to help with my mental fatigue, well, now I've got my 6 times written down. So the next time I did this exercise, I've got a specific time to shoot for. You know, I held something for a minute, you know. I usually can hold something for about a minute in the first round, and by the time I get to the 6th round, I can only hold it for 20 some seconds, you know. And then, but when you have that mark to shoot for, it tends to change your mental ability to fight through your pain to get that number you have written down. I mean, if I've got a, you know, if I don't have a number written down and, you know, I get to where I start to feel pain, I get, oh, I gotta quit. Well, if I get to where I start to feel pain, I look at the clock, I'm at 50 seconds, and the last time I did this, I did it for 57 seconds. Oh man, that fires me up, and I will fight to the death to get past my 57 seconds. So that's where I think if you keep track of your time, you will work through your physical pain once you have a goal to shoot for. And then you can measure reps. How many times can you wrist curl something? You know, can you do it 20 times? Okay, great. And you went to absolute failure? Awesome. The next time, now you've got a number to shoot for. Use the same weight, go to 21 times, go to 22 times. Once you get up to a certain number that you pick, let's say it's 25 reps, that's when you finally increase the weight. But every time you rest in between these exercises, always rest for the same amount of time. That's the key, in my opinion, to forcing the adaptation of increased muscular endurance capability. Because if you just wait until your muscles feel fresh again, well, then you're not forcing the adaptation, in my opinion. So, all right, I'm gonna tack on some other videos of exercises and you'll see what I do. All right, so here's my bob corner. And I'm not gonna put all the bands on. I'm just gonna put one from up top. Pull it down, I'll grab a couple from the side here. Whoops, I lost one. And so again, to me, I've got wrist curl, pronation, up pressure, back pressure. And I'll add all the bands and I'll just hold it right here for as long as I possibly can. As long as my elbow stays on this pad and my hand is not completely dumped and I lose a band, like I just lost that band, then the time just keeps going. So I just hold for as long as I possibly can. And eventually what happens is my hand is gonna give way and I'm gonna lose one of these bands and boom, stop the clock. But then start the 1 minute rest. And then I repeat it. And I do it 6 times. And you keep track of every time. But the key, in my opinion, always a 1 minute rest. So at the end of a minute, no matter how fatigued you still feel, get back into this movement. Or whatever length of time you want to pick. I like to pick 1 minute because I don't want to be here all day long. And you can do this philosophy for a lot of exercises. You know, let's say you just want to work on your knuckles up. Well, then grab one band, hold it for as long as you can knuckles up, or grab 5 bands, you know, whatever it takes to get your knuckles to go down. I generally like my first set to be where I can hold it about a minute. And then as soon as I can hold my last set for 30 seconds, that's when I need to increase the weight, or in this case, add another band. So there you go. So here's an example of reps. I'll take my Country Crush handle, because I like this, and I'll just do as many reps. And what I try to do to make sure it's all the same is I pull down, stop, let go. Pull down, stop, let go. Slow and steady for as many as you possibly can. Write the number down, wait 1 minute, repeat. Write the number down, wait a minute, repeat. With something like this, I go 40 reps for the first round and then whittle my way down to like 10 reps come the last round. But then just keeping track of those times like we did in the Bob Corner or reps here and having that number to shoot for is how to train for endurance. Now, I've demonstrated just a couple of hand things, you know. You can do, I've got a low pulley where you can just pull and hold. Same concept. Take that minute rest in between each one. Or side pressure. Pull, hold. Set some guidelines for yourself. Elbows got to stay on the pad, can't lose the handle, whatever it is. Hold as long as you can. Wait 60 seconds and repeat. There you go. Have fun. By the way, endurance training, way harder than strength training. Much more suffering.